Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm excited to get things kicked off. My name is Paige Henderson, and my thesis project is EcoArt, where I'm designing at the intersection of environmental sustainability and kids' toys. So looking back to myself as a little one, I absolutely loved arts and crafts. Thanks to my parents for letting me explore and make a mess out of everything. I also loved playing outside and feel a passion for a connection to nature and environmental sustainability. So as a designer, I try to consider that in everything I do. Environmental sustainability can mean something different to everyone. So designing at this intersection with kids' toys, I spoke with parents and children, and these are some words I repeatedly heard to describe sustainability in their lives. They repeatedly spoke about reducing, reusing, and recycling, as well as fostering this connection to nature, just like I felt when I was younger too. One mom told me, when thinking about toys and sustainability, I think about the less materials, the better, and the less electronics, the better. I consider what can be recycled or reused. And designing for an environmental footprint in the toy industry can seem a bit daunting because 90% of toys are made of virgin plastic and are used for just 6 months on average. A lot of them are donated, like to Goodwill right here in Evanston, but 80% of toys end up in the landfill. So parents are struggling with this tension of wanting to be environmentally sustainable in their lifestyle and sort of passing that on to their kids, but making product choices often for convenience. So I'd love to introduce you to one such mom and daughter I spoke with named Michelle and MJ. And they live right here in Evanston. The family consists of a mom, dad, and their 7-year-old daughter, MJ. And she really enjoys right now building forts, making friendship bracelets, and going on scavenger hunts. Both parents are fairly busy working from home, but they've fostered an interest in environmental sustainability. So they're recycling and composting at home, and MJ is even learning about climate change in school. So designing for people like them, I have certain objectives that I want to meet. The first, of course, being creating a play experience that's environmentally sustainable. So that means having less stuff, but more activity. I want to allow for independent exploratory creation with some guidance and direction. Finally, parents repeatedly spoke about having sort of less technology and more of a connection to the natural world. And finally, the ability to grow with the child and last for a bit longer than that 6-month time frame. So that really brings us to this concept of replayability. So on this span of sort of toys that last for a shorter period of time in a kid's life to ones that maybe last a bit longer, like Legos that can be built upon, we see a huge variety. And then contrasting that with a variation of sustainable materials, we see some examples of classic toys like arts and crafts kits that have a lot of little things that might not be so recyclable to maybe toys with bioplastics having cardboard packaging. So setting us up for this matrix of classic toys, we see on the span of that replayability contrasted with varying sustainable materials, there's this opportunity space to design for recurring play that's more environmentally sustainable, which is why I designed EcoArt. For families interested in sustainable practices with children who love arts and crafts, EcoArt is an arts and crafts subscription kit that facilitates children in making unique creations out of natural and found materials. So here's a hint at what 12 months of this product might look like. So you're getting a subscription kit where every month you're getting a new craft activity, and that ties into a greater sustainability lesson, where I'd love to focus on the details of a couple of months here and showcase what's included. So in August, for example, families will be learning about leaving no trace in nature. They'll be going out and collecting leaves and flowers and engaging in flower pressing to make fun paper art like bookmarks, framed pictures, things like that. And here's what the kit will look like, with key components being the unique tool. So the tool is going to be something that they wouldn't really otherwise have at home or in the classroom. Also inside of the kit is detailed directions, as well as on this open front panel of the box, an eco learning that ties it all together. So there are certainly some intentional design features in these directions, such as having a varying age level or varying challenging level from easy, medium, and challenging to accommodate a child's age and skill set. There's also a call out for the supplies that they need that they can commonly have around the house and go out and find. After walking through the directions of how to use this flower pressing kit, they can actually scan a QR code and connect to EcoArt online and see more video tutorials if they would like. For the eco learning that's included, it really focuses on the full product life cycle. So there's education around where the materials came from and where they're going. There's also a link to learn about recycling and disposal methods for any possible consumables. And after learning about their impact, they'll also have lessons on what to do with the packaging itself and include the box as part of the craft. There's also a hint at what to start collecting for the next month. It might be something like newspapers, toilet paper rolls, things to start with their next craft. And as I mentioned, the box itself will be part of the craft. So here's an example of using the box in August to create this basket for collecting the leaves and flowers. And finally, some fun craft creations that kids have made with the kit. In January, for example, kids will be collecting old fabric or shirts from around the house and using those to make reusable bags. So they'll learn about upcycling and reuse in that process with these materials included. So really just sort of the minimal to get started, noting that they have other materials around the house, the eco learning about reuse and their impact, as well as those directions, and some fun creations, of course, from what kids have made upcycling. Finally, in April, kids will be making clay pots. So they'll actually use these pots to then plant a flower as there's soil and seeds included, and then they can learn about plants and gardening and really tend to their flower. So here are some fun pots that kids have made. So in order to sustain EcoArt, I want to walk you through this journey that Michelle and MJ actually engaged on to become part of the EcoArt community. So they found the website and decided to order the annual craft subscription kit. This is going to cost $20 a month, and it really is targeted between the age range of 5 to 10 years old, noting that the supplies can last for much longer and be played with amongst siblings and with members of the family. I often spoke with parents who said they wanted to be just as engaged in the craft as well. So ordering the kit, they receive that every month. Opening it up, they read and engage in the eco learning and instructions and have the option to connect digitally if they'd like to learn a bit more. They'll collect those found or natural materials for the craft and then actually make the craft with the kit tools. And I don't really see it as like a one and done type craft. I want them to keep coming back to it because they have these unique tools and they're gaining their skill set. So they can really use that repeatedly, again, with the optional digital interaction to go online and share their work and see what others are doing. When they're done, they'll properly store their tools and dispose of any consumables just in time to receive their next monthly kit. I was able to speak with parents in user feedback sessions and learn what they thought about EcoArt. One mom that I spoke with, Jenny, she noted that they actually got sort of the competitive product Kiwi Craft kits and spoke about their shortcomings in terms of its sustainability footprint. She said Kiwi Craft kids entertain us for only a little bit, but I feel like with EcoArt, we would come back to the activities. It's a teaching moment that connects to sustainability in our life. Michelle told me that I like activities that we can do together and not just more things. Eco art would get us outside to collect materials, and my kids need to appreciate all parts of nature. I wanted to thank you so much for listening and learning about eco art. And I'd be happy to take a moment to answer any questions about the process as well as the product. I have my prototypes right up here, and feel free to have a look more closely during our breaks. I'd be happy to showcase more, and you can certainly pick them up, interact with them. And a special thank you to our thesis professors, Jim and Amy, as well as my mentor, Craig, and my family and friends for joining me today. Thanks.